Waspinator tried to undo what he did.
The bot that Prowl killed the protoform.
Get out!
Oh, that's hilarious. Anyway,
It's so bad at me. Hold on.
It's not working. Maybe Waspinator needs to hit buttons with face. There's all better. Good job, Waspinator. What did you, Waspinator? Ooh, Waspinator did so good. Okay, go listen to Swerve's Bar podcast.
hello and welcome to the podcast where we are currently recapping the events of Transformers IDW 2005 continuity. I'm Onyx Prime with my two co-hosts here.
Hi, I'm Computron.
Hi, I'm Kilobyte.
And moving on with our comic book discussion for today's episode takes us to IDW Transformers Salvation. And as always, spoiler warning. So if you haven't read it already, we highly recommend you go back, read them, and come listen to the podcast. Also, we wanted to let you know we have a goal to reach 500 subscribers. We'll be holding a brand new kind of giveaway we've never done before. So click that subscribe button and tell your friends it's a good time. Now,
It's
onward.
a good time.
Is it?
I think so.
It's good.
Yeah, I think so too. I'd recommend it.
I don't care
recommend
about
it.
their opinions. I'm saying it's a good time.
Whoa. Anyway, Computron, would you mind telling us some fun facts about this comic?
Yeah, so this is a short one. So there's only one issue. This is a one-shot that was released June 14th, 2017. The writer was John Barber, and the artist was Livio Remendelli. All right, time for some trivia. Swoop paraphrases Bugs Bunny's famous catchphrase as he tries to rouse the unconscious Flatline with the cry, "Yo, Doc, what's up?"
What's up, Doc?
In addition to the Council of Soulstar Order's worlds, Bludgeon also ponders destroying Airlandia, the world which was the setting for Hasbro's 1987 toy line, Air Raiders. Yay, more crossovers. The Void Scepter takes its name from the weapon wielded by the Fallen in Revenge of the Fallen movie, which
Thought that
was
looked familiar.
I didn't even remember.
which was christened by a bio on Hasbro's website. That it was originally, wielded by Mortulus. Correct me if I'm... Is it Mortulus or Mortulus?
Mortulus? Yeah.
Mortulus?
Yeah.
Is another point of commonality between the two characters, both already being members of the Cybertronian pantheon who turned on their siblings and instigated war between them. And last but not least, Trypticon's boredom with war and hatred for those around him comes straight from his original bio. This is the first time it's ever really been used in a story.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And I think with that being said, Kilobyte, do you mind giving us a short summary?
We'll do it. In short, it is. When Bludgeon reactivates the monster Trypticon and threatens the unborn lives of the next generation of Cybertronians, the Dinobots join forces with Sandstorm for one last ride. And as always, this information has been taken from the wiki.
Of course.
Fantastic. Are you two ready?
I'm ready.
Yeah.
We start off with the Dinobots defending the city and counting the kills, similar to an Earth movie of Ring of the Lords.
I still only count as one.
I think that's correct. Don't fact check me. With giant Grimlock. Wait, no. Trypticon. Rampaging. Theories at this point, Kilo.
I assumed Bludgeon brought Trypticon to attack the city once more because, zombie Titans wasn't enough. Let's just give them another Titan to attack.
More of the Titans return.
I honestly think Trip probably could have took on all those zombie titans.
Oh, absolutely.
Fight me.
Probably.
I agree with you.
I did have a good laugh when I think it was Snarl yelling at Slug for trying to go up to Trypticon's mouth, saying, "That's not Grimlock."
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Like, you must be
line.
confused. That's not Grimlock.
Grimlock
that was
juice.
very good.
Flip back to earlier in that morning of the scene. Slug isn't looking so hot, or maybe he is. What's happening here? Who would like to describe the scene?
The Dinobots find a cave where Bludgeon has been experimenting with the sweeps. And suddenly Slug gets shot in the back. And this is all being narrated by Slug at this point in some of the scenes. And he's like, oh, that's fine. It missed my spark. But then he gets another shot in the back. And
Just with the scratch.
Now stand aside, worthy adversary. 'Tis but a scratch.
yes, at that point, yes. But he gets shot again, and this time it hit his combustion chamber where he can create the flame breath. And he ends up sacrificing himself to destroy the lab, and he perishes.
Yeah.
Poor Slug.
Very sad. Poor Slug. I miss my dino buddies. They're all dying one by one.
They're all dying. I do think it was interesting because I remember, like, as they're on their way digging down the cave, they're like, well, maybe there's no way he could have survived this fall. Maybe he's dead. And, like, I think it was Slug at the time's like, he doesn't even believe what he's saying right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who was that? Was that
think it was
Sludge? That
Sludge.
said? Sludge,
Yeah.
yeah. Sludge is like, anyway, like Slug was Slug and Sludge. Wow. Slug
What a
was like,
tongue
even
twister.
Sludge doesn't even believe what he's saying. It's like, come on.
Yeah, pretty good.
Moving us along, Starscream appears to be protecting the spark field, but it isn't doing a good job now, is he? As Swoop finds Flatline and a few other dead badgeless at the field, and no more sparks.
Tricky.
Tricky. But Starscream thinks it's the Dinobots, or something much, much worse, and asks for Sandstorm's help. Theories, thoughts, any fave scenes?
I just want to point out you used Starscream and good job in one sentence. I'm actually really impressed, even though
Huh. Isn't that interesting?
it's they're antonyms.
I like when Swoop is surveying the area, he gets shot in the wing because he's in his Pteranodon form, and I was like, I think I know who this is because he's like, it's you. And I was like, I think it's Sandstorm. And then the next panel, they show Sandstorm. I'm like, I knew it, because he was after the Dinobots in the previous issue.
Redemption.
Yeah, the redemption of the Dinobots. It wasn't after the Dinobots. But he wanted, everybody that had a sin in the war, he wanted to tick them off his list. And so Dinobots were on there. I'm like, I think it has to be Sandstorm, and it was. And I was very proud.
Yeah, he was the one that blew up the bar, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, he was.
In the previous one, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's take a quick ad break.
Let's play Guess That Bot, and don't forget to leave a comment below with your answer. You might get a special shout out.
Are you having issues finding your drive? Perhaps even difficulties getting yourself up and ready for action? Well, don't you worry, because I have some news for you. Hi, I'm Computron, and that's right, even robots suffer from this deficiency.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Come on, Heximus. It's really not that hard. I'm talking about ED. Energon deficiency. I used to be against K-Juice, but I find that it helps with ED.
Oh, thank Beltors. I thought you were talking about something else there for a second. And stop saying ED and just call it Energon deficiency.
Wait, what did you think I meant?
I'll whisper it to your audio receiver.
Alrighty then. I don't understand. What's a Johnson's dysfunction? And why is he using a floppy disk?
It's Metroplex.
So I want to come back and I want to say my favorite scene is when Trypticon is kicking Devastator. I'm just like, you're a bit out of your weight class there, bud.
Or the fact that he tried to fight Trip he held Trip's mouth open to let the Dinobots inside Trypticon. And then, Trip closed his mouth and he gets flung. He's like, all right, round 2.
Yeah, he's like, later he gets chomped in half, and when he says he's got this, and clearly he doesn't.
Clearly.
Poor Devastator.
Poor Devastator, but also not really.
Wait, so he gets chomped in half. Does that mean, like, whoever got whatever body piece that gets chomped dies? Or, like, how does that work?
It's best not to think about it.
Ass Flatline.
Yes. And it's so different for every combiner. It's just hard to tell at this point.
Right. Eventually, we find out Sandstorm was the one that took out Slug from earlier, and Bludgeon, like always, is bad. Cooler looking than ever yet before. How does he do it? He just keeps glamming up.
He has a good complexion.
I want to steal his sword.
Yeah,
That's a
his
cool
Star
sword.
Saber.
It looks like Moff Gideon's sword. The
Yeah.
the
It's got like
Mandalorian.
galaxies in it.
Yeah.
It's
So
really
like, okay,
cool.
we gotta one up this show here. Galaxy Blade.
So good.
Even
It's-
Who
though
would
it's-
like to tackle Triptychon's origin? At least the legend it gives us here.
I wouldn't mind tackling it. So the whole idea was Mortilis had the what was this?
scepter.
The scepter. I'm trying not to say spire. Mortilis had the scepter, and he essentially kind of rezzed Triptychon to be like to go to war, I guess, with his other compatriots or the other parts of the pantheon. And it was like his Titan that was supposed to be, I'm assuming in his mind, like the anti-Titan, if you will.
A little bit, right? He's supposed to be the one Titan that can take out all others, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or so the legends claim.
The Titan that's the anti-Titan. Well, it gets kind of unique, and I might be overstepping here, but we'll see that Triptychon actually, in the end, does the opposite. He's not the Gesalt
Killer.
of death. He's something else. He's the opposite, the Gesalt of life, I guess, if you will.
Yeah. So Bludgeon's plan is to use the stolen sparks and Triptychon to leave for the stars, where he can then use the sparks to evolve using Triptychon's primordial energon to turn them into an army. Oh, and he has a special scepter that was used by Mortilis to control Triptychon. So he's doing all that, which is called the Void Scepter. What are your thoughts on
Void
his
Scepter.
plans? And what are your favorite scenes?
I think it's an interesting plan if he would have succeeded.
Yeah.
Because
He's got an ego, right?
he does. He does.
He's always had an ego.
The thing is, like, since he wants to use Triptychon's energon, and that energon gave birth to the Dinobots, I wonder what would have done to these unborn sparks, right? Because the Dinobots were already formed and they already had their forms. So I wonder how this energon would have maybe modified them or mutated these unborn sparks into maybe more powerful Cybertronians. So I think that would have been an interesting thing to see. I'm not condoning, taking unborn life and mutating it, but I think it would have been cool if he would have succeeded in kind of having a Titan to protect them. It would have been easier, right? Because you don't have to stay in one place. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And my favorite scene is when Triptychon is in his base / they're like monster form flying, and he has like these energy wings. I think that scene looks very good.
Oh, yeah.
It's very pretty.
Olivia Ramondelli did a really good job.
Yes.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it looks like eyes like staring down at you at the same time. I don't know if it's just me, but it's kind of freaky.
Yeah, that definitely feels like it's on purpose.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, moving along, any favorite scenes when Sandstorm ends up breaking the scepter and the battle that follows it? I particularly enjoy when Triptychon gains back control of their own body, teleports Bludgeon outside of him, and just blasts him, and you just see him drop, and he's all like burnt up on the ground.
That was the death Bludgeon needed, but I'm gonna say death with air quotes here.
He always comes back.
Yeah.
Cooler than ever, every time.
This is the third time he's come back or so.
Yeah, it was like the third or fourth. Can he get any cooler?
He's a cockroach. You just don't kill him.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, he is mutated at this point, right?
Yep.
Kilo, any favorite scenes?
I got a little scared when the Dinobots were angry at Sandstorm because he arrived with Swoop, and they were very close to the spark, and Sludge, I think, tried to do a fire blast onto Sandstorm, and I'm like, no, don't hit the sparks. Don't kill them. So I got a little bit scared on there. But it was very cool because Sandstorm works with Strafe in this battle, and he acknowledges them as part of the Dinobots, and I don't know how they were communicating, but Sandstorm knew where Strafe was and managed to help them take out Bludgeon, which was very cool.
Before we get to the last panel, in the last question for you, Kilo. I really particularly enjoyed that we mentioned it before that Trypticon was born for war and chaos, but in the end does not want to do that. Instead, wants to actually take care of these sparks. What were your
Very good
thoughts on
character
this character arc?
It was very sweet. I really enjoyed it. I was not expecting that to happen at all. So I think that is a very good way to create like a plot twist to the whole story, because we've seen Trypticon in battle before and we just assume he's a savage beast that just wants to destroy, and actually he's not. So very good. Very good.
The only confusion I have about Trypticon as a whole is when we go all the way back to the Autocracy series, like Trypticon gets killed and then their spark is replaced with a quintessence. Yeah.
Yes.
So at this point in time, is it because we knew later on they kind of merged, they became the quintessent Trypticon. At this point, it feels more Trypticon than it does the quintessent. Like it feels like a quintessent is completely gone, but that
If
could
I
be
remember correctly, when they did that, they inherited all of Trypticon's memories.
yeah, they kind of merged. Yeah.
Yeah. So I can see, like, you remember like the monologue of what Trypticon was saying, like what his life was like after he lost the Metroplex after the first war and was buried for so long. The actual Autobot Decepticon war. I'm assuming it's even though it's like a merge, they still have like the feelings and memories related to when Trypticon was that.
Yeah. Kilo, any input?
I agree with both. It's just pretty much, I would be saying the same thing. But yeah, I think they just merged and became one entity.
All right, let's get to the last panel here. Looking at this last panel, Kilo, describe what's on the scene and tell us your theories.
So the last panel starts with a little faint glow of blue, and then it gets bigger and bigger, and then we see a blue hand holding a spark, and it pans out, and we see Flatline, the body of Bludgeon, still connected and still alive, the body of the body of Slug, and Starscream, saying that he has a mutated spark from one of the dead sweeps. And he's asking Bludgeon what he should do, and Bludgeon, not being able to talk, just kind of makes a grunting sound. And he's like, "You always have such interesting ideas." And I'm assuming Starscream's going to use Slug's buddy to create something new, a new kind of abomination.
Hey, abomination? Rise!
So Slug is not out yet.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun.
Let's see what happens, but I don't think this is going to go well for Starscream. It might, they might be able to control it for a little bit, but I'm assuming this mutated spark might make a Slug go rampant, and it would create more chaos than what Starscream really wants.
Completely valid. I also want to point out one other thing. I would like a Flatline toy.
He does look cool. He does look cool.
Yeah.
I want a Sandstorm one. It made me these issues made me like Sandstorm.
I really want the two-headed dragon.
Strafe? Yeah.
Yes.
But unfortunately, I don't think that's ever been a toy.
Nope. Unless it's the Michael Bay version.
No.
You know what I really want?
What?
Let's do Rod Stars. That's what I really want. Kilo, what's your Rod Star?
Ooh, Rod Star. I think this is the end of the whole Dinobot trilogy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
It was very good. It was very interesting to see what was happening and trying to guess what actually was happening. I managed to figure out certain information beforehand, but it was still a good read. We get a backstory on Trypticon. So I would say a 4.
A 4?
I would say a 4 for Rod Stars.
Computron?
I really like that not only was this the conclusion for the Dinobots, but this is also a very good kind of subtle conclusion to the Autocracy trilogy.
Yeah.
If you account for Trypticon. So I rarely do this for very small comics. I'm going to give this a 4.5 because I love that it concludes both of those timelines very nice and neatly.
Yeah. I, however, am going to give this a 5. The art is fantastic. The colors are beautiful, vibrant, just like always from like the wonderful artists who do these comics. We have
Livio Remendelli. He's just the master when it comes to watercolors.
It's
He's
so
just
good.
a master. Yeah.
It's so good. But listeners, what do you think of these comics? How many rod stars would you give it? Let us know by leaving a comment below. If you are interested in contacting us, you can send us an email at swervesbarpodcast@gmail.com. That is SWERVESBAR podcast@gmail.com.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you. Do it. I'm here all week. Are there any figures you two want to talk about? Because I got a Legacy Override.
You
and
too?
I'm not upset with it. The only thing that I have a problem with it is, like, I think the knees could use some more mobility, but overall, it's a really good toy. It's very accurate, and that's what I appreciate.
Yeah.
Okay. I did an impulse buy.
Ooh.
Punish me if you will. I bought a Legacy Metroplex.
Ooh.
Nice.
Ooh.
Are you playing with it right
Well,
now?
I have. It's not. It hasn't been shipped yet, and it's limit of 2 per customer. But I'm looking at, like, on my shelf, I have the Ark. I'm like, that boy needs to be standing next to the Ark.
Yeah, they'd be fighting.
I'm excited for the Legacy Metroplex.
Yeah.
I got myself an override as well, and I really like the toy, and I think it's very cool. Great update to the original toy.
Great update. I am ready for some more updates for the Armada Energon Cybertron line.
Me too.
Been years. All right.
20 years.
20 years. Are you two ready for Transformers Lost Light Volume 2?
I'm ready.
Yep.
Cool.
See where this
Before
goes.
we head out, Hilo, do you mind telling us about your Twitch? Have you gone to Flatline?
I have not gone to Flatline.
Go to Flatline.
But it's not that type of Twitch. I've told you already. It's a streaming service where I can stream myself playing video games for the listeners, and we can have a talk, and we can just hang out. It's always fun, and they can
I hear
find
there's
me at.
spoilers for the D&D on there.
There are spoilers. Yes, some of the members of the chat have been spoiling the D&D.
Yeah.
So we try to, not have that happen. But you can catch me live on twitch.tv/Kilobyte Prime Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because that's when the signal reaches Earth. And you can catch me playing different video games, hanging out, and just talking to the community. And if you want to keep updated with the schedule and anything that have been changing, you can follow me at Twitter at Kilobyte Prime.
Fantastic.
Outstanding.
If you have enjoyed this episode, consider sharing it with your friends and subscribing. If you want to help out the show even further, we have started a Patreon. All of the proceeds will go to supporting the show and keeping the lights on. Any extra will go to directly back into the show to provide more art, more material, more entertainment. Everything's for you.
And better
Of course.
quality products.
Better quality products,
Better
more
quality.
writers, more editors, all the above. Of course, we have some tiers that offer other forms of gratitude, such as 3D files and entry to our Discord channel where you can chat with us live. You'll even get early access to our comic review videos a week before the public release. Also, we have a goal to reach 500 subscribers. We'll be holding a brand new giveaway we've never done before, so click that subscribe button, tell your friends, it's a good time, and as always, we hope you are all staying safe out there. Thank you so much for listening. Till all are one.
Till all are one.
All are one.
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Swerve's Bar Podcast. You can also find us on Twitter at Swerve's Bar. If you are interested in more content, try checking out the spin-off of D&D series Transform and Roll Out, the second and newest season titled First Stand of the Wreckers, with a brand new DM, a different story, and from what I hear, a better pilot episode than the last series. Sorry, not sorry, Onyx. Let's tune in for a preview now.
You hear kind of like something moving on top of the shuttle, kind of like stomping around.
Ordeal Solus Prime.
Heading back towards kind of like the docking bay door where you came from.
I drop to my knees and start praying to Vector.
Now, what would you like to pray to Victor?
Get up, you're being embarrassing.
Please, Dr. Fine, please, let us survive today. Please.
As you pray, the door kind of blows and kind of like flies outward.
I scream. Ah!
Astonishing. There is also a YouTube channel with bonus content such as video games containing funny comments. A link will be provided below. And if you are so inclined, you can support us on Patreon, where you can get even more bonus content such as 3D files, access to their Discord, and listen to content before it is released to the public. More links will be provided below. End transmission.